Welcome back to Red Panda Destiny here for another episode of Show of the Year. We are, of course, now in 2018's season of American Vandal, episode 2, to be specific, which is simply titled Number 2. I just got the joke. Yeah, okay. It's weird that they have, like, joke titles and then also titles that are not jokes. Though, looking at this season, it looks like the whole season is a poop-related title. So maybe... Okay, it looks like everything but the first episode in both seasons was some sort of reference to the crime. Anyway. So this episode starts with them revealing clear evidence that Kevin's confession was forced. The police officers clearly have to lead him to information that the guilty party would have known. Common scummy police technique there, if you're trying to frame somebody. And they very much use the good cop, bad cop sort of thing. Both of the police officers are not very nice, and very... It's like they believe they're doing the right thing, but they are clearly manipulative, shall we say. Though I do find it odd that Kevin never thinks, maybe I should have a lawyer with me. I mean, he's being interviewed by two police officers, and he seems like a pretty smart kid, so you'd think he would realize... this might be the time to call a lawyer. He is a high schooler, though, so I'm not saying that he definitely should know that, but it just seems a little weird to the... I guess you can argue the facts either way, but he just seems like he would be smart enough to understand when it's time to call a lawyer. But anyway. And they also introduce vaguely the character of Miss Wexler. I don't think she's actually in the episode. There's sort of like a recreation that they did, and I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be in lore. Is that something that Netflix went and did later? Is that something that they were doing? Because it seems unlikely that the people that he's basically accused of lying would be helping him make a recreation of that scenario. It seems kind of far-fetched, that. But it's darkened, so you can't really tell if it's actually the person or just someone who looks vaguely like them. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. But yes, Miss Wexler comes and mysteriously takes Kevin away halfway through the interview. And the whole interview was taped, right? But when he leaves, that's no longer taped. So we don't know what happened there. We do know what happened in the interview and know what the time gap is. And magically, when he comes back, he's all willing to confess to things he didn't do. Clearly didn't do. Like they clearly show that he doesn't know how the poop got in the launcher or the poop pinata. We'll explain that in a second. I do want to mention here that this crime has a little bit more high stakes for the school because they're a private school, and if the private school looks bad, parents may not want to send their kids there and pay the, I'm sure, pretty exorbitant fees that they have to pay to get their child educated there. So it's kind of a marketing thing. I mean, if that happened at a public school, what's the option? Like, you can't go to another school. I mean, some school districts allow you to go to a different school, but it's not really a big deal because the district would still get the funding. I don't think they'd be too bothered about that. But a private school, obviously, is a business, and all of that is there. But they also show us the second and third pranks. With a bit of a stretch to call these pranks, but whatever. The first of which was the poop pinata, which is pretty obvious. There's poop in the pinata. And that was for some weird special day that an English teacher who has a particular obsession with one author has every year or something. It's some big tradition at the school. And then pinata, and then right in people's faces. Yeah. And there's some clear leading going on there in the interview with him assuming it goes in the top, and they're like, no, stop being stupid. It goes in the bottom, clearly. And it's like, it's pretty obvious there. Let's see. It does go into the launcher prank, which is, if you've been to a sporting, they have those T-shirt launchers, like a cannon. They put a T-shirt in, and you catch a T-shirt. So there's another one of those was loaded with dusty cat poop. Same principle, get poop on everybody, and always icky nonsense. And that happened at a pep rally. And then again, he doesn't know how it goes in. He acts like it was human poop, which it was cat poop. And it's like he's clearly totally bewildered, but he's going along with it for an unknown reason at this point. Although it's kind of implied that Mrs. Wexler has said that he'll get a pretty lenient punishment from just the school, no charges filed. So you can see that, he might go along with that if he really thinks he's going to get done for everything. And then Peter and Sam go and try to find the maltitol, which is the laxative that they know was used. I assume they tested the lemonade or something. And they go to what I guess is the local grocery store, Dossie's, and there are no laxatives that are maltitol that they can find at the store. And being that Tanner specifically said that Kevin bought laxatives, that seems a little suspicious. Although, unfortunately for Kevin, he seems to have forgotten what he bought at the store that day, which is a little odd, considering whatever he bought must have been something that he didn't want Tanner to see. Just a little food for thought there. What else? Oh, and then they kind of investigate Tanner's possible motives for framing Kevin, revolving around an apparent tradition at that school of a skip day where they all go and they rent out an Airbnb and they have a house party. Seems a pretty clever idea, actually, for high schoolers. And apparently Kevin and Tanner were very much dissenters of said skip day until this year when Tanner was at the skip day. And then, some friendly arguments occur. They fall out. Kevin kicks Tanner out of his band, what they call the Horsehead Collective. And apparently he then hires a middle schooler so they can play more bar mitzvahs. That thing that I think it's like when Jewish boys come of age, they have a bar mitzvah. And that was like their bread and butter. So he hires a middle schooler to sort of integrate into his audience there. But what I found funny is the middle school that the kid goes to, Miles, is called Tollgate Middle School. It's just an interesting name for a middle school. I guess it's near a toll gate. And then they show off their nice timeline of the events, including the Instagram posts of the turd burglar. Did I forget to mention that last time? The turd burglar account on Instagram is kind of preceding and following each event. And they show that there's the warning, follow-up, warning, follow-up, warning, follow-up for the 3 pranks. But then after Kevin is suspended, there's another post. And then another post for a crime that nobody noticed or one that didn't happen. It's just intriguing there. They don't wrap that up yet, though. Though Sam does then go and point something out that's a little damning for Kevin, is that it appears in the video of the brownout that he is deliberately shitting his pants. Interesting point. And then they kind of end the episode with Chloe Lyman, who's the person who initially invited Sam and Peter to come up to their town to investigate the brownout and all the other stuff. And this is part of her submission video. It's kind of weird that they wait till the end of episode 2 to tell them that. That her video, she accused DeMarcus Tillman, who is the star basketball player of the school. And her accusation is based on the fact that he allegedly had the turd burglar business card, which was in one of the posts. I think it was the warning post for the Brown. Was it maybe it was the follow-up post for the brownout. But anyway, she saw him with it, and it's like... And that's the big cliffhanger of episode 2. So I guess we'll be back next week for episode 3. I hope you will join us then.